back, all you wonderful weed heads, to another and brand new edition of Weed on Wrestling. I am, of course, Weed, aka Alan, your host that tries to stay stoned the most. And here on Weed on Wrestling, I get super baked and talk about all the finer points in the WWE universe. Today is Monday, May 1st, 2017, and it is no different. Because you know, I'm fucking high right now. And I'm talking everything Raw. Monday Night Raw from May 1st, 2017. And here's what we know. Here's what we know coming into the show. Right out of Payback. Fresh out of the pay-per-view last night. Will Brock ever return? Seriously, will he ever return to defend his Universal Championship? Alexa Bliss, she's your new women's champion. That's a good thing. Hardy Boys retain, but at what cost? Your Intercontinental title is back on Monday Night Raw. And, you know, plus Dean Ambrose returns. Do I smell a little Shield reunion at some point? Potentially, we could see a Shield, Wyatt Family, Bullet Club, Broken Hardy type of a feud or a storyline mix and match. Potentially. I'm saying potentially. There is possibility for that in the air, and I'm excited. What else gets me excited? Let's see, we got Neville. He's still the 205 Live champion. What cost did it do to his legacy? We'll find out on 205 this coming Wednesday when I watch it. And plus, there's always the other people in the locker room. And, you know, where do all these interchangeable people fit into the equation? And you know that we were going to have it. The show is actually filled with a bunch of highlight packages from last night, and I kind of dug the way they did it. Instead of one big package there at the very beginning, instead of a big highlight reel, it's kind of put sporadically throughout the entire show, and I kind of dug that. I kind of enjoyed it. I mean, if we're to be expected to sit through it and to watch it, at least it's in small increments, because after all, it was only a mere 24 hours ago that we had to sit through Payback. So as far as we the fans go, at least you could do was to break it up, and you did. We can all remember what happened whenever we watched a show that happened last night. So you mix that in with all the shitty commentary and everything else that we've kind of grown accustomed to. It was an okay attempt at trying to break up the monotony, and I get that. But bad on us fans, I guess, for actually tuning into a wrestling show to watch wrestling. I guess that's our fault for expecting, you know, in-ring activities. Anyway, right, we have the actual show to talk about. And it kicks off. It starts off a little strange. You know, you got a bunch of women standing in the ring, and there's a podium, and women's new champ gets ushered in, gets introduced in, and it's Alexa Bliss. And she kind of has a new gimmick, a story to go with, a moniker that she wants to be known as. So she's a goddess now. Whatever. It was still great work on the microphone by Alexa Bliss, as always, as to be expected. I mean, everything in this segment, in my opinion, it was just good, but it lasted 10 minutes too long, and the fans let us know. Bayley downright just attacks Alexa Bliss for talking simple facts. I mean, factual shit is what she was talking, and that's it. So that's how the show fucking starts. Alright. Whatever. And right off the bat, there's an 8-man tag match. And here's my problem, because you had Alexa Bliss, Nia Jax, Emma, and Alicia Fox versus Bayley, Mickey, Sasha, and Dana. In the little promo that she cut earlier in the night, like to kick off the show, she was going down through and bad-mouthing everybody. And then she gets to Nia Jax and says, "Oh, I look forward to partnering with you later on in the night." And then we get back from commercial break, and Michael Cole says, "An impromptu match started by Kurt Angle over the commercial break." How did she know? I mean, how did Alexa Bliss know that she was going to be tag team partners with Nia Jax later on in the night if it was an impromptu match? Fuck off creative. fuck right off creative. If Kurt Angle made the impromptu match during the commercial break, how is she supposed to know? Anyway, the match sucked. It was slow, it was clunky, and it was just downright strange. It was confusing the way that Raw treats these women's week after week on their competitive front. I mean, they had such a great match last night at Payback, but yet tonight it struggled. Like me right now, I'm struggling to find the words to truly illustrate how bad it was, because I mean, fuck, the stars, they're there. You have the personalities and the in-ring talent to get across good storylines and individual basis and stuff, but no, instead we're just going to throw them all together in a ring and see what fits, see what sticks. I don't know, they just need to be used in the right way, and that's just my own opinion. And I truly hate fucking live TV. That's another one of my own opinions, because there's so many goddamn commercials. And then again, it is a pointless, do-nothing shit match, so it's matches like these that I really don't mind, because it gives me more time to, break up a bowl, load a bowl, smoke a bowl, break up a bowl, load a bowl, smoke a bowl, do what I do best, and, perhaps maybe even with enough of this good clouds that I'm putting into the atmosphere, maybe even with this process I'll actually enjoy the horse shit that is shoveled down my gullet week after week and tried to pass off as a women's division on Raw. But the way that it ended, it was alright. It was another DDT to Bayley from Alexa Bliss in the center of the ring. Thank God it was over. I mean, Bliss, Jax, Fox, and Emma, their team wins. They get the victory, whatever. I do know this, though. My botch of the night, you guessed it. It's everything about this opening sequence. The first half hour, 40 minutes, 45 minutes, whatever it was, it just sucked. This opening sequence of programming was just horrid. Everything except for Alexa Bliss was bullshit. First, it did nothing to benefit anybody. Like I said, when you throw them all in a ring at the same time hoping something sticks, everything looks like shit after that by comparison. And let's just go with the Alicia Fox, Sasha Banks storyline, because it looks like these two have a feud built up and an angle that them two are going to catfight. And that's exactly what they look like. They look like two catty bitches with all the hair pulling and shit like that. And then again, with the Alexa Bliss, how did she know that she was going to be teaming with Nia Jax in this scenario here if the match was made impromptu? And then don't even get me started on the sluggish spot fest that doesn't even pass for an actual match these days. Whenever you think about how far the women on the Raw roster have came and how much they've risen over the years, only to be continually shoved in 8-man tag matches so we can see every single woman on the roster. Oh man, we still got a lot of learning left to do there, WWE. But yeah, that's my botch of the night, the way that they're treating the women's division on Monday Night Raw. And speaking on shit on screen that is personified, let's just talk about Roman Reigns for a second. Because WWE is going to talk about him for at least a good half hour on a 3-hour show. You can guarantee that. And it's for no fucking what? Like, what is the reason and the logic behind this just to bring up a motherfucker that ain't even there? But anyway, we get Enzo and Cass in our second match of the night. They come down, and it's supposed to be Enzo taking on Luke Gallows. And Anderson and Gallows, they just basically attack Enzo and Cass from behind. And while Enzo and Cass was busy running their mouth, Gallows and Anderson snuck up behind them, beat the shit out of them for a little bit. It was alright. I just don't understand the booking here, but, it is what it is. Gallows, he looks dominant. Enzo looks like he's out of his element in every way possible. Except for the heart department. I will give this to this little scrappy little fuck. I will give credit where credit's due. He can hang in there and take a fucking ass kicking. And more props to him for the ability to do that, because he never gives up, and I'll give him that. But it was just too much big in the match. I mean, Luke Gallows, he picked up the victory in what I just assume is another time-filling, pointless match. But it is what it is, so it worked out, I guess. Let me hit the pipe real quick. Oh shit, I put my pipe too far away whenever I started the podcast. I had to lean over and get it. Hang on just a second. You know, I will give WWE credit this week. They had a lot of backstage promos, but they were good, solid promo work. One of which happened to be that Neville spot. Neville talking to TJ Perkins. It was a nice little backstage promo. Perkins dares to question the king. He dare question the king. Neville puts his squire, his toady, his basically bitch boy in his place, telling him, do not question your king, be loyal. And it was good. He continues to berate him with all of the usual stuff and keep playing the mind games. And yeah, basically all I gather from this segment is it's going to be another match that we've seen before between TJ Perkins and Austin Aries. Yay, I guess. I mean, if we're going back to old TNA days, I guess it's nice to see two people who donned the suicide mask at some point competing against each other. Is that what we're doing right here? Are we highlighting the fact that we stole more TNA competitors on Raw? Because if so, cool. I can get behind that. Cool. It was a good little segment, though. Speaking of good segments, after about an hour of bullshit, Monday Night Raw took off like a fucking rocket ship, and it was amazing. Because Seth Rollins came down to the ring and cut a pretty decent promo. I mean, he was talking about what's next for him, and he calls out Brock Lesnar. And then there's more. Because in comes Finn Balor, saying that he never lost his Universal Championship, so if there's going to be a line for Brock Lesnar, then it has to start behind him. And that was good. And then enter Dean Ambrose, and I mean, it was funny because he was basically calling out Brock for never fighting and claiming that his Intercontinental Championship was the #1 title on Monday Night Raw. Happen to agree with him here. I mean, he made a lot of good, valid points. And just as you thought that it was top to awesomeness, enter The Miz saying that he's in fact the #1 contender for the Intercontinental Championship because he made it the prestige that it is today. And he straight up calls Seth Rollins a gimp, and it was good. Ambrose then proceeds to call Kurt Angle on the telephone, and he makes the match later on for the night a little triple threat action for the #1 contender in the IC belt. Rollins versus Finn Balor versus The Miz. I dig it. And it was a fucking brilliant segment here. But I seriously can't help but think that we're just writing off the Universal belt like this. Is it so that Braun has an untested straight shot at Brock come SummerSlam? Okay, maybe. But if it's to put all these guys on the back burner to set that up, how dare you think that this is only mid-card worthy? These are the main superstars of your Raw roster, and you're just treating them like they're Apollo Crews? I mean, why? Eventually, what I hope is, I hope that we get Finn Balor to maybe turn heel and go Bullet Club. I kind of hope that's what we're setting up because he'll never get his rematch for the Universal belt and he'll get pissed. I don't know. We'll see. And then what we will see is, because it's WWE programming, we get more Roman Reigns bullshit. Yay, said no one. Match number 3 of the night was some purple rope flippy cruiserweight action, and not the match that I expected first, because it's Rich Swann, Tozawa, and Gentleman Jack Gallagher versus the Brian Kendrick, Noam Dar, and Tony Mini Neville Nice. Fuck yes. This is everything that I wanted in a cruiserweight match. Holy hell, it was a good 6-man tag. Everyone in there, they got their licks in, furthering the storylines and developing their feuds like it should, like a proper match should, but yet they each found their own individual characters in the match as well. from Gentleman Jack Gallagher bringing down the 3 umbrellas to the ring, and the mutual mockery of Tony Nese after they just kind of launched him from the ring and holding up the bicep in the air. Yeah, it was just fun. It was fun from a fan's perspective to just watch talent in the ring. And it's cool to see what these guys can actually do inside the ropes when they're given time to develop and time to showcase their moveset. And there's still no way that I can ever believe that Tony Mini Neville Nese is under that 205 weight limit. He's just way too fucking big. I mean, he's practically bigger than Jericho when you compare the two. It's insane. And plus, WWE, we get it. We get that Rich Swann and Noah Andar have beef. We understand that, Alicia Fox fucked with their fucking heads and now they don't like each other. But do we really have to be reminded of that? And the Tozawa, the Brian Kendrick storyline of lessons from the teacher and then lessons from the student and all this shit. Yeah, don't remind us every 5 seconds. We understand that there is something going on there and that we are invested in it. And you don't need to remind us every 5 minutes or 5 seconds, because when you do, we lose our interest. But that's where we're at. We're at the aspect that, fuck yeah, that was a good match. And it had it all. And at the end, Rich Swann, Tozawa, and Gentleman Jack Gallagher pick up the victory. As it was basically just kind of a plethora of finishing moves and kind of kick-ass maneuvers and aerials, and it was good. It was just a good way to just kind of end. So my sore moment of the night, it's got to be the fact that the cruiserweights were actually given more time than their usual 5-minute allotted time for 2 matches. I mean, hell, even that shit stain on commentary, Michael Cole, referenced how much fun they all were to watch week in and week out. I mean, fuck, at least we have more than one goddamn match in their hour show. Monday Night Raw, I'm fucking looking at you. This is looking at you, Monday Night Raw. I said it. They have more than one match in a goddamn hour of programming. So fuck off with that. Oh, we have too much content. We can't put a match in. Fuck off. Fucking one match and a shit ton of filler. Fucking makeups and entire hour. I'm just pissed. This is a mess of attempt you're passing off as a fucking show. I mean, fuck. How am I even getting angry during this segment that I'm supposed to make me happier? It's supposed to be my s'more moment of the night. I'm supposed to want more. But I want more cruiserweights and I'm not getting it and I don't like it. I'm fed up with it. I mean, every time that we get to see them, they just look awesome in the ring. You just show them and I'll be content. I digress, I suppose, as I turn my notes and continue on with the show. Let's talk a little Cesaro and Sheamus. They've gone heel. Them two talking on the mic, completely gone heel. I mean, Sheamus finally speaking his mind, and he has some time to tell some truths. It's good, and he explains how he tried to be what the crowd wanted him to, only to no avail. Cesaro pipes in with that he kind of had some heelish tones, saying that the Hardy Boys were past tense and that the fans can't look for the future. They stole their spot and they stole their glory. And yeah, basically calls himself Superman. Calls the Hardy Boys a novelty act. It was good. And I guess they have a new catchphrase now. They are the bar. Yeah, but the Hardy Boys, they kind of run down after Matt goes in and out of his broken mode and stumbled over his words and then deleted it at his opposition. At the end of the day, there was no fucking fighting. And that's what we came here to watch. There was still no fighting as Cesaro and Sheamus ran away. So again, kind of a little bit of a pointless segment, but it is what it is, because I guess it was letting us know that Cesaro and Sheamus now full heel. Good to know. Not like we couldn't have predicted that already. I mean, it is WWE, and they are foreign, so logic dictates, I guess. Match number 4 of the night, we get Heath Slater versus Apollo Crews. So are Heath Slater and Rhino still a team? Is that what we're going with here? and it was Apollo Crews under Titus O'Neil's tutelage. Do I give a shit about either one of those things? Nope, didn't think so. Alright, cool. That's a giant fucking no. And it was a quick match. I could give a shit less. The waste of space, the waste of roster space, and bad charisma vacuum that is Apollo Crews picked up the win. It was a pointless fucking match. I mean, why even have it? At the end of it, the best part of it was as Titus O'Neil, I guess, is expanding the Titus brand and adopting Apollo Crews or whatever the fuck we're doing here. He does selfies in the middle of the ring. Rhino photobombs the selfie. I dig it. I like that shit. That was the best part of the whole fucking segment was the last 2 seconds where Rhino photobombed the shit out of him. That was the best part of it. Up next, continuing on, and it must be a new hour because we get another Roman Reigns sighting. Not actually at the show, but by God, we're gonna show fucking 8 promo packages of him. Fuck off. Enter Kurt Angle talking about how both Roman Reigns and now Braun Strowman are both injured and they're just not done with each other yet, whatever. So I guess in the greediness that is the WWE, they went and got themselves a star injured. Because word is Braun Strowman separated shoulder as he tried to take out Roman Reigns, hit the ambulance door. It was a lot softer than he thought, and when he hit the boxes, it hurt himself. So, yeah, way to fucking hurt somebody. But it was good, because as soon as I was getting upset that it was just Angle in the room and in the ring, fade to black, down comes Bray Wyatt. Wyatt introduces himself to Kurt Angle as calmly and as badass as he is on that microphone. I mean, the motherfucker can cut a promo. That is for damn sure. I mean, it's true. It's damn true. This dude is talented on a microphone. And fuck yes, that line of "this may be your show, but let me tell you, my friend, this is my world." Oh, that may have did more for Bray in those 10-15 seconds of the last part of the promo than the entire last year of his feud with Randy Orton did for his career. And he even had the belt during that fucking segment, that storyline. But Jesus, it was amazing. And he's telling everybody how he's going to rid the evil and he can see it. I'm going to laugh my ass off because I can see the writing. I can see the storyline in the future. It's a little Finn Balor turning heel, reuniting the Baylor Club with the Demon King at its head, and you're going to need somebody to take on that demon. Why not the Eater of Worlds, Bray Wyatt? Oh, it's going to be amazing. One of them could have the belt. It'd be a proper way to get Bray reintroduced back into that main picture. I just like it. Fuck yes, I love it. It was amazing. I mean, and then to continue on with the amazingness that was that last hour of Monday Night Raw, we get a backstage promo where Dean Ambrose basically hijacks this Charlie chick's microphone and proceeds to interview all of the entrants in the number 1 contender match for his Intercontinental Championship. I mean, he goes so far as to mock The Miz for good measure. He does a lot of third-person talking with Seth Rollins and even makes a little shitty Shield reference. He makes Finn Balor eat a donut, saying that he needs the carbs. And then you just kind of have Elias Sampson wandering in the background, strumming his guitar, kind of drifting through the scene. And it was amazing, as Ambrose requesting Pearl Jam to Sampson, to the... Oh, it was so good. It was everything that I kind of wanted it to be. And then, yay, we get more purple rope flippy shit as we get Austin Aries taking on T.J. Perkins in a match we've only had to sit through about 9 fucking times in the last month. Whatever it is, what it is. These guys are good, so I guess it'll work. It still beats anything that Roman Reigns has ever done his entire career. The match, well, yeah, it's as good as... It was good. I mean, nothing great. It was just good. It was a little predictable, almost like I've seen all of this stuff before, but again, it was kind of cool to see 2 dudes that actually wore the suicide mask on Impact or whatever it is, TNA. It was really cool to see two guys who donned the suicide mask at one point in TNA put on a pretty good spectacle in the ring. And I think it's basically WWE saying, hey, again, we stole 2 more of your brightest stars. And it was a good enough match. I mean, the crowd tried to stay into it as much as they could, but the announcers blew more than normal, minus Corey Graves. He's pretty badass on it. Austin Aries picked up the victory, and he kind of did a little cool counter to submit TJP. After the match was over, Perkins is A-double. Austin Aries standing supreme. Perkins runs up behind him, kind of hits him in the back, kicks him a little bit, puts him in his own submission move as of sorts. Stands tall at the end, so he's still looking like he's a lackey for Neville. He's under Neville's control, so we'll see how long this storyline goes or until he breaks free and wants his own title shot. I do know this, Austin Aries did appear to look injured moving forward, but again, kayfabe reality rules. There was a little segment. It was about to be my Raven missing superstar of the night until, I had it all written out and everything. And then as soon as I had it written out, they had it come back from commercial break. Motherfucking Goldust staring at me. So Goldust and R-Truth, they're begging for a chance to take another title run. And we're led to believe that they actually stand a chance in whatever the fuck this match is for next week. So there's going to be a match. We know that. Goldust and R-Truth going to be thrown into the equation somehow. So yeah, I was talking about it. I mentioned it. I had it all written out. It was going to be Goldust, and then it was ruined when I came back from commercial break. But it is what it is. So what about me? What about Raven, missing superstar of the night? As I get my paper closer, let's see who did I put here. No, it's not going to be Brock. That's too obvious and cliche at this point because we know he's going to be gone. It's not Roman Reigns or Braun Strowman. I mean, even though they actually weren't physically there, the two were referenced enough that I have a feel that they may have actually hosted tonight's Raw, and I just missed that. No, tonight I'm going to go a little off the beaten path. I'm going to go and find somebody who didn't appear. So, Bo Dallas, Curtis Axel, get ready. Nope, even you're not worthy of this. This week, I'm actually I miss the random person kicking the shit out of Kurt Hawkins match. So yeah, where'd you go, Kurt Hawkins? I missed you lying in a pile of your own spittle. I mean, it's hard to have proper jobbers, I understand, but it's good to actually see jobbers at their best. Whenever you have a locker room full of wannabe stars and this horse shit that is 50-50 booking, we're never going to have the proper jobber, though. And that just annoys me. Let me fold my paper over and flip through my notes here and find out what we're going to talk about next. And down to it. The main event. Match number 6 of the night, I believe. Let me make sure I didn't skip anything. Purple rope, jobber. What about me? Not Brock. Kurt Hawkins. Alright, so 6. Main event. Number 6. Alright, I need to hit this pipe. I'm stumbling over my words again. Give me 1 second. I'm getting excited. I got a joint rolled and it's in the other room and I left it in there, so I'm trying to blow through this shit quick. Main event time. It's match number 6. It's the number 1 contender match for the Intercontinental title. The winner gets Dean Ambrose. It's Finn Balor, Seth Rollins, and The Miz. And what a fucking match it was. Holy shit, did it have a lot of action. It was a great piece of storytelling in this match, from start to finish. I mean, it was kind of the mutual respect guidelines and the mutual hatred of The Miz, where Rollins and Finn Balor team up and chase The Miz out of the ring, throw him out, and then they kind of fight amongst themselves. The Miz, you know he's going to get his moveset in, plush with Maurice, trying to kind of block her husband and help him out at every beck and call. Triple threats really are fun to watch. I mean, they're fast-paced with a shit ton of action. And this one was no different. It was, dare I say, awesome? I mean, the Rollins spot alone, where he was shoved from the top of the ring post to the floor, it was risky at best, but damn did it pay off. And then that collision between Rollins in air and Finn Balor in the ring, Rollins just straight up landed on his fucking head. What it was, though, was it was a great showing of the differences in styles that they wrestle. Because on one hand you have, or on one side of the triangle in the triple threat match, you have The Miz. And yeah, he is kind of safe, and he is conservative, but he is a good, proper storyteller. He is a lot more improved than people give him credit for. He is technically sound. And then you have Finn Balor. He has the flair, and he has the technical ability, and he has the speed. Sure, he may lack a little size, but he makes up for it in heart. And then you have just Seth Rollins. Seth freaking Rollins. He's balls to the wall, all out, all the time. Let's get this shit done. And I dig it. Man, do I dig it. The match played really well. The storytelling worked. And yeah, even as The Miz continues to mock his Daniel Bryan motions, even though he's not on SmackDown anymore, he still continues this on. It was good. It was fun. It was entertaining. It's what I want my matches to be. Those Finn Balor kicks, you combine that with his running drop kicks, a bunch of near falls here and there with plenty of missed finishers, and there was just some solid ring work. I mean, shit, it was at least a good 10 minutes until Seth Rollins ever lost his fucking wristband this time. So that's always a plus. I mean, holy fuck, that double blockbuster followed up with the fucking frog splash by Rollins, and then he gets fucking Miz and the Falcon Arrow after a top rope superplex, and both Miz and the Finn Balor kick out. You had Rollins flying all over the place, and then down comes Samoa Joe. He runs in, he handles Rollins. Apparently, they still got beef. And Balor looks to be on his way to winning, and fade to black. Enter Bray Wyatt. Bray Wyatt shoves Finn Balor off of the ropes, hits him with a Sister Abigail. Miz is there to capitalize as Rollins lays in waste from Samoa Joe. Finn Balor lays in waste from Bray Wyatt. Miz is your new #1 contender for Dean Ambrose's championship. Holy fuck. What a way to end a show. Let me catch my breath and let me find my thoughts after something like that, because man was it good. I got to my s'more moment. I got to my botch. I got to my Raven missing superstar. And let me get my thoughts. My thoughts after a show like this is holy fucking shit. What an ending. What an ending to kind of an average show. It was just confusing as fuck when it began. I mean, it built, and it built, and it kept building until it blew past what I thought it could be, what I expected. I mean, we have Alexa Bliss, she's our women's champion. The cruiserweights, they're getting more than 10 minutes to share between their two matches. It was a great start. It was a good way to kind of dip your toe into the goodness pool. And then you kind of put that on top of the big bonus of no actual Roman Reigns shit this week. Ooh, that's good. I like that. Water's nice and warm. Let's wait in some more. And yeah, there's a lot of tag team matches. Or singles competition between two members of tag team teams. I don't understand that and what's going on there, but it's all for storyline purposes, I suppose. So we'll just keep waiting. We'll keep afloat. And then we have an ending like that, and oh, the possibilities are endless. The streams open, and the clouds part, and it is a beautiful day to go for a swim in the WWE Universe, known as Monday Night Raw. It was just amazing at the end, because think about it. Samoa Joe, Seth Rollins. Let me get him inside a steel cage. Can we do that? Miz, Ambrose, we've seen it before. It could be better, but it's decent. I mean, it works. We should give Miz a reward after all of the crap that he had to go through working with John Cena. He should be rewarded for his continual great work annually. I mean, the dude shows up week in, week out for over 10 years now, so least we could do is reward the man. And then we get to what I predict will be an amazing storyline. It's the Bray Wyatt versus Finn Balor angle. This is going to be a fun ride. It almost makes me forget about missing our champion, or that this was all saturated down mid-Carter bullshit. It almost makes me forget that Brock isn't there. But if we keep on these angles of good storytelling and proper feuds, as long as Braun beats Brock eventually, I'll be happy. And that's the way the show ended. And that's my final thoughts on it. Going into SmackDown tomorrow, I could get into it now. Yeah, we know Jericho's moving over. But for how long? Because he's going on tour with Fozzy eventually. Styles, he's that number one contender for Jericho's U.S. Championship. Owens, he's owed a rematch. Baron Corbin, he's floating around somewhere in the mix. Nakamura, Ziggler, they're beefing. But are we not going to see Nakamura until their next pay-per-view? So, I don't know. He's going to get in the ring eventually. Tag Team Championships, they're the Usos for right now. Breezango has a number one spot. I think Naomi's still the women's champion, but who cares if it's not Charlotte, right? And then there's the champ Randy Orton, and the greatness that has become Jinder Mahal over the past couple weeks. Is he going to continue to prove, and how is he going to grow this week as a dickhead? Plus all that, and the bully commentary, and the rest of the guys in the SmackDown Live locker room. You know I'll be here tomorrow talking about it, because I am, of course, Weed, a.k.a. Alan, your host that tries to stay stoned the most. And you know what I do here on Weed on Wrestling? I get super big and talk about wrestling. That's about all I got for today, so what do you say we get the fuck out of here? Let me find my bearings and find my sign-off shit. You know where to find me in all the normal places. It's SoundCloud, iTunes, iHeartRadio, Spreaker Radio. You know all the normal places. YouTube, Twitter, @Weed on Wrestling. It's all one word, Weed on Wrestling. And yeah, until next time, all you wonderful weed heads, take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. What do you say we get the fuck out of here, huh? Yeah, I'll be back on tomorrow to talk a little Weed on Wrestling, SmackDown Live. Until then, I've been Weed, a.k.a. Alan. Let's get the fuck out of here. Maybe, if I ever figure out how to work this shit. There's a lot of things I gotta figure out about this stupid recording system here. Give me a second. Turn that up, maybe. Let's try it. Ha! I may have figured it out. So yeah, it was a good show. Quality ending for kind of a shitty beginning. But it worked. And holy fuck, I've hit 40 minutes, so let's get the fuck out of here. Peace!